Hi everyone, welcome you all. This is Pavan. In the today's video, I'm going to address some of the important questions related to manual testing career. So many of people are asking these questions from the long time, and many people nowadays are interested to start their career in IT and especially software testing. So they have so many questions in their mind, and I have consolidated all the questions here, and let us try to address those questions. So first of all, let me read those questions. So the first question is only manual testing enough to get a software testing job? The second question is, can a manual tester survive without automation knowledge? The third question is, can I become automation tester without manual testing knowledge? So these are the common questions many people were asked from the long time. And let me try to address those questions one by one. So the first question is only manual testing enough to get software testing job? So we need to understand this in two different criteria. Let's say if you are a fresher and you are applying for a job as a fresher, so the manual testing is enough. Because even though you join a small company, startup company, or a big company, initially you do the manual testing only. So you don't directly jump into the automation. So few days, few months, or few years, you will do the manual testing. So they will always assign the manual testing task. Like you need to first understand the functionality of your application. You have to write your test cases. You have to execute your test cases. Then you have to find out the defect and report the defect. So these tasks will be involved in your job initial days. So if you are joined as a fresher, even though it is small, big, or medium level companies, you will do the manual testing initially. So if you go as a fresher, or if you are applying the job as a fresher, so manual testing is enough. But if you go as an experienced, suppose you are applying the job as a 3 years of experience guy, 4-5 years of experience guy, definitely you have to know the automation. So manual testing itself is not enough. Because if the company is expecting 3 to 5 years of experience, they are expecting the multiple skills. So not only manual testing, you need to know the automation also. So they are looking for like API automation, GUI automation, like performance testing. So different type of testing you should able to do through automation. So if you're going as a fresher, so manual testing is enough. But if you are applying as a experienced guy, so you have to learn the automation. So that is the answer for the first question. Now the second question, can a manual tester survive without automation knowledge? Can a manual tester survive without automation knowledge? So nowadays, many people are reported. I have seen so many people and who are doing manual testing from the long time, like almost 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, till 10 years almost. So they are still working on the manual testing, and they are struggling a lot to survive in the industry, because nowadays all the companies are expecting automation skills along with the manual skills, manual testing skills. So people who are already working on the manual testing from the long time, so they have to upgrade. Definitely they have to upgrade. So otherwise it is very difficult to survive in the IT industry for the long time. So manual testing will never go. Okay, manual testing will always be there. But here the thing is, you should also know the automation, because companies are always looking for the multiple skill set people. So you should know the manual testing along with the automation testing. So if you don't have an automation testing skill, only with the manual testing, it is very difficult to survive in the industry for the long time. So at least if you have more than 3 years experience, up to 3 years, you can manage only with the manual testing. But if you have more experience, like 3 to 5 years, more than 5 years of experience, definitely that is the right time to learn your automation and upgrade your skills, definitely. And you can learn automation in different aspects, like you can learn UI automation, or you can learn API automation, or you can learn performance testing. So whichever is interested for you, or whichever the requirement is, you can just focus on those particular skills and you should upgrade this. So my answer for this question is, it is very difficult to survive in the industry only with the manual testing. Okay, so you have to learn the automation testing after getting some experience. That is very, very much required, because most of the companies are expecting multiple skills. Okay, and along with the manual testing, you should also learn the automation testing. Otherwise, it is very difficult to survey in the long term in industry. Even though if you are able to survey, you will not get more appraisals, performance. So your package will not be increased. So you will have a lot of problems. So because of that reason, you should definitely upgrade your skills on automation testing. That's the answer for the second question. Now let me see the third one. Can I become automation tester without manual testing knowledge? So many people are asking this question, especially people were newly starting career in software testing. So without learning manual testing, can I directly learn automation testing, or can I directly do automation testing course? See, here you can learn automation testing without manual testing, but manual testing is very much required before going for automation testing. Suppose if you join in a company, and suppose let us say you have learned automation testing, and you have assigned automation testing job. What exactly you do in automation is, initial step is you need to understand the requirement, you need to know about the test cases first, and then you will try to automate this, right? So until unless you know the functionality of application, even though if you know the automation testing, it is very difficult for you to automate the test cases. You have to know end-to-end knowledge on application, at least the features of our application, the function of the application is mandatorily required, right? So then only you will able to write good automation test cases, and what can be automated and what cannot be automated. So these things you should analyze from the application. For that, at least you need to know some manual testing basics, like what are the different types of testings are there, how to conduct testing, what is functional testing, what is non-functional testing, right? How to write a test cases, how to find the defects. So sanity testing, smoke testing. So you should have some basic knowledge on manual testing concepts. And without manual testing, you can still learn automation testing, but you will not become a good automation tester, right? So you should know if you know the manual testing, then you will able to do automation very, very effectively. So at the learning point of view, you can learn automation without having manual testing. But when you go for an interview or when you're trying to do any job, manual testing skills are definitely required. So even though if you go as an automation testing interview, definitely they ask some questions from the manual testing, because people will not directly jump into automation. If you go any company, initially, the people initially will do 1, 2, or 3 years manual testing, and then they will move to automation testing. So definitely those people will know about the manual testing. So even though if you go as an automation testing interview, definitely people will ask some questions from the manual testing. So not only manual testing, you should know some basics about web applications, basics of SQL. So these things you have to know before going for an automation testing interview. So at the time of learning, you can avoid manual testing initially, but you can learn manual testing parallel. It is not a big thing. So you can learn automation testing parallel, you can learn manual testing. It's not a big thing. There is no stopping there. Okay, so there is no rule like if you complete manual testing, then I can start automation. That is up to you how we can start. Okay, so but manual testing you can learn parallelly along with the automation testing. But when you go for an interview, manual testing skills are mandatorily required. So without having manual testing skills, it is very difficult to do automation testing interview, and also it is very difficult to do automation testing job. Okay, so I recommend everyone to learn some manual testing concepts, at least some basics, and then start automation testing. So this is recommended. But when I say automation tester without manual testing, is you can still learn automation testing, no problem in that. But in the real scenario, if you go with the real-time interview or projects, definitely manual testing skill will be very, very helpful. Because even though if your automation is there or not, at the end of the day, you are a QA, you are a tester, software tester. So it can be automation or it can be manual. That is the secondary thing. But basically, you are the tester. You have to know the basic testing concepts. Like what is the type of testing? What are the different type of testings are there? How to conduct? What are the different techniques are there? How we can report the bugs? What is the testing cycle? How things will happen in the testing process? So these things are very, very basic. So you have to aware of these things. Because even though if you go as an automation tester, manual tester, at the end of the day, you are the tester, you are the QA. So you have to know these concepts. Without learning these concepts, even though if you directly jump into the automation tester, you will feel some difficulty there, right? So you have to learn manual testing concepts, at least basics, before starting the automation testing. So that's the answer for this particular question. So these are the different questions people were asked. So I hope I addressed all these questions, and accordingly you can just plan. If you are a fresher, so start with manual testing concepts, and that is enough for getting a job initial days. But if you go as an experience, definitely you have to know manual testing along with the automation. And if you don't have automation skills, it is very difficult to survive in the industry. So you have to first learn some programming and then learn any automation tool, whichever is required in your company or whichever is there in the market. Very popular tools are there. You can do some kind of research and accordingly you can choose those automation tools and upgrade your skill. That is mandatory required. And before going to automation, just learn some manual testing concepts, which is very, very helpful for you to learn automation testing. Okay, so these are the suggestions I can give you. So that's all for this video. In the next video, we will discuss some more concepts. So thanks for watching.